It's been over a week since the Wagner Group's short-lived insurrection against the Kremlin. The group's chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin, is reportedly in Belarus, where the Belarusian leader says he and his troops are more than welcome to stay. For more on Prigozhin's whereabouts, we're joined by Professor Robert English this morning. Welcome to the program.
Happy to be here.
First off, the Belarusian president has confirmed that Prigozhin is in his country. The question is he really there? I mean, what do we know about Prigozhin's and his group's current status?
As far as Prigozhin goes, we really aren't sure. It appears that he did go to Belarus right after the coup's failure, and he also issued a public statement at that time, but he's been quiet since, and it's been a whole week. There have been reports that he's back in Moscow. Some of those reports say he's under arrest. Some of those reports said he was meeting with Putin to discuss a new command mission for the Wagner Group. So they're absolutely contradictory. And at this point, we don't have reliable information.
Right. So it is unclear at the moment where he actually is, or anything we know about his status at the moment. Then the group, Wagner Group, has reportedly not been recruiting for a month, apparently due to temporary non-participation in the Ukraine crisis and also due to its move to Belarus. Is that so, Professor English?
Yes, we do know that a big camp is being prepared for the Wagner troops, regardless of whether Prigozhin is in Belarus at the moment or not. His soldiers apparently soon will be there, at least 20,000 of them. And again, beyond that, we don't have good information. There have been reports that the Wagner Group could be involved in fighting in Western Ukraine, which has concerned the Poles and the Baltic states greatly, to the point where they're considering a counter-deployment. There have also been reports that the Wagner Group would be striking in the center of the country, straight towards Kiev, where the earlier Russian attack over a year ago failed. And there have even been reports from the Polish side that the Wagner Group, believe it or not, may be planning to bring African migrants, right? Migrants from the Central African Republic or Mali, where they have operations underway, and turn those migrants loose at the border with Poland and other Central European states to create a kind of chaos. So here we have three completely different versions of what the Wagner Group might be doing in the weeks and months ahead. Again, we just don't know.
Right, lots of assumptions at the moment. But in the meantime, there are also reports that Putin has ordered Russia's Federal Security Service to assassinate Prigozhin, right? How likely is that the reports are true? I mean, what's your outlook on his fate?
I think his fate will not be a happy one, but I don't think Putin is likely to order an assassination right now. If he'd wanted to kill Prigozhin, he could have done it a week ago, and it would have been sort of clean, and it would have seemed justified because he was in the middle of leading a coup. Now there's been talk of amnesty, of dropping charges, of letting the Wagner Group resume operations in Belarus, and so to assassinate Prigozhin now would make it look like Putin is being deceptive, he's breaking his word, and he would make Prigozhin into some kind of martyr. Right. Putin doesn't need that, and he's more likely to arrest him, have him brought back to Moscow, held in detention, and maybe put on trial. An outright assassination now seems like it would backfire for him politically.
Right, Putin may be aiming for a better timing to actually get rid of Prigozhin, maybe just not now.
Exactly.
Then Putin's takeover of Prigozhin's group has reportedly begun with his media holding group, Patriot Media, that's been shut down. Now, there are also reports that it's control will be handed over to Putin's reputed girlfriend, lover Alina Kabayeva. What's your take on this?
I think Putin is a little bit too smart to hand over a 25,000 army with tanks, aircraft, artillery to a supposed girlfriend. That does not seem credible to me. Of all the reports we've been hearing, that sounds like it's the least likely. But you know, it's interesting that you mention it because all of these add up to just an overwhelming amount of rumor of leaks, of disinformation, right? On the Russian side, it serves Putin's interests to keep the West and keep Ukraine guessing about where the Wagner Group might be fighting next. On the American, on the Ukrainian side, it serves our interests to make it sound like Russia is in disarray, that the Wagner Group could be in rebellion again, that Prigozhin is missing and could be plotting another coup. And so both sides, I think, are probably engaging in leaks and disinformation. And we analysts and you journalists are the victims of that at the moment.
Right. Let's also go back to Prigozhin's fate. You said Putin could have killed him if he really wanted to last week, right? Then what's a better timing for Putin to actually get rid of Prigozhin then?
Later. Right. A better timing is not right now when the echoes of the coup are still resounding, when there's so much confusion, and Putin has again made an initial commitment to allow Prigozhin to go into exile. It would look as if he's deceptive and dishonest and just outright mean if he were to kill him now. He doesn't need to. He can arrest him. He might be under arrest right now. He could be under arrest in Moscow. He could be under house arrest in Belarus. In fact, I think that's probably the most likely. And the best thing for Putin is to keep Prigozhin quiet and out of sight. And again, I expect that within some months, we could see a trial with Prigozhin, charged with mutiny, charged with abuse of office, charged with financial crimes as well. They've been hinting about the billions that his group earned and suggesting some of it was illicit. So there's plenty to charge him with. And they're probably going to use propaganda, social media, news reports to build up a slanderous case against him, to tear down Prigozhin's image, and then put him on trial when the time seems right. Again, that could be several months from now, in my estimation.
Sure. Keeping Prigozhin under control may be Putin's top priority at the moment.
Well, as far as Prigozhin goes, yes, Putin wants to keep him under control, keep him quiet.
Right.
As far as the war in Ukraine goes, Prigozhin is a distraction now, and they're in the middle of a really difficult fight against a strong Ukrainian counteroffensive. And again, that's why Putin doesn't need more distractions, more divisions, and more seeming disarray on the Russian side. He wants Prigozhin quiet and end the distraction for the time being.
Right. Lots of rumors and uncertainties at the moment. Thank you so much for your insight and joining us all the way from Italy this morning.
You're welcome.